Good afternoon, vinyl community. How you doing? It's David Michael. Firstly, good afternoon. Second of all, you have to excuse the toque. We call them toques in Canada. I don't know why. I don't know what the history is behind it, but it's a French term. A lot of people call them ski hats. But this today, where I live in Canada, it's minus 19 Celsius. Which is about minus 2 or 3 Fahrenheit, but with the wind it's minus 28 to 30, which is now about minus 16, 17 Fahrenheit. So it's damn cold is what I'm getting at, and it's cold in my house, and I just came from outside. So plus, you know, I look tough, don't I? Anyways, I'm all calmed down from my last video. You know which one I'm talking about if you follow my channel. So you'll see a calmer Dave today. So something really exciting happened today. I got something really awesome in the mail, which I'm going to get to. It's one of those things that, it's one of those karma things. I do believe in karma. You get back what you put out, and today some of my good karma paid off, and I'll show you that in a second. I'm going to show you some used finds I got this week, over the weekend as well. Last week, I got a copy of The Clash's first album. And then this, actually that, if you saw my last video about that record store that I won't mention anymore, later that day after that incident happened, go back to the video and watch if you want, if you don't know what I'm talking about. Later on that day, I went to another borough within outside of my city, and there's a little antique store, and they had some records, and they had some promo records, which was really weird. And then it was 10% off the price there. It's just a long story to get to this album, isn't it? Sorry. I got a copy of Clash Combat Rock. Sorry. And my Clash vinyl is pitifully low. I thought I had all of them, but I think, like I said with my video when I found the Clash's first album, I think I must have sold them when I was a teenager and needing money to pay the bills, because I only have Sandinista and London Calling, and now I have the first album, and this is a promo copy. I don't know if you can pick this up on camera. You can kind of see it there. It's that's what CBS used to do in Canada. They used to Warner Music used a gold stamp, promo stamp, but CBS, they would do this little indentation stamp. It says demonstration, not for sale. So, and it has a cut corner, which who cares? But it's a really nice copy of Combat Rock, one of my favorite Clash albums, one that I DJ with still quite a bit. Another promo album I found that day at the same little antique store was a copy of U2 October. Now, I already have a copy of this, but this is I'm going to get nerdy on you here. This is a very first pressing with a certain kind of blue Island Records label, which is really meaningful to some of my friends who are massive U2 collectors. The minute I told them I found this, they were like, does it have this color blue Island label? And I was like, yes, it does, but it's a Warner promo album. So like I was saying, that's how Warner in Canada marked their promos, and CBS used the stamp. But immaculate condition first pressing of U2's October promo. I feel like I'm being wordy already. I'm being a little bit too, maybe I'm excited from my finds today in the mail, I don't know. That same day I found a copy of Spooky Tooth, The Mirror. This is another promo copy, as you can tell by the cut mark. Now Spooky Tooth is a band I'm only aware of by name, and, sorry, today I need a hot coffee, trust me. If you were in my part of the world right now, and thank God you're not, you would need hot coffee all day. I know them by their members more than I know them by their name. Mick Jones from Foreigner fame, the guitar player, was in Spooky Tooth. In fact, there he is right there. Gary Wright was in Spooky Tooth. This is a nice, it has a little bend here, but it's a nice die cut sleeve around this guy here. And like I said, I've only known Spooky Tooth by just by word of mouth and people recommending them. But I found this there. So really, for all 3 albums, I think it averaged out to be about $6 a piece. That's a score. So after what happened at that other store, that was quite a nice little find. It kind of felt a little bit of retribution, anyways. I found this yesterday at Goodwill, and I encourage you to Google this if you don't know it, and I don't blame you if you don't. It's Nancy Holloway in Paris. Now, Nancy Holloway, these are really rare, and it's absolutely in stunning condition. This is original London Records pressing. She was an American jazz and R&B soul singer, early 60s. If you Google Nancy Holloway and Elvis, there's a lot of famous photos on the internet with her and Elvis. They palled around at the Moulin Rouge in Paris when when Elvis was in the army. So if you Google that, you'll see some nice photos of Elvis and Nancy Holloway. But she was primarily huge in France. So even though she was American, for some reason she caught on in Paris. And this is a super rare album. I've never quite seen it before. I don't know, well, not quite. I've never seen it before. It's worth a few bucks to say the least. And in this condition, it's even more so. But that was a hell of a nice surprise at Goodwill. I'm surprised it was in such nice condition. This is from the early 60s, I believe. And most of the songs are in French, but she did some out-and-out soul albums, and then she did some kind of hybrid jazz soul albums, and this is one of them, Nancy Holloway in Paris. Really nice album, and it was a really nice surprise to find. That was the extent of my used finds. And if it's annoying, I'm always sipping coffee during my videos. I apologize. If you lived up in northern Canada, you would be too. Okay, these are my new finds, my new arrivals, I guess. I'm ready for a chorus of boos here, and I should probably film a video about this album, defending it. I won't. I should though. I troll Amazon's clearance sections, and then third-party sellers sometimes have things at ridiculously low prices. This was the only Metallica album I didn't have, and I hesitate to call it a Metallica album. To me, it's a Lou Reed album. You know which one it is now. Lou Reed's first and foremost on this album. It says Lou Reed and Metallica, but it's a copy of Lulu. And I'm not going to sit here and defend it, because the minute I posted this on a Facebook group I'm on, YouTube Violent Community, already people were already trolling this album. And I know it's fashionable to troll this album, but it's half not bad. It's in fact, I think half of it's really awesome. You have to be into Lou Reed and his experimental side to like this album, and I do like the experimental Lou Reed. The View, Pumping Blood, Mistress Dread, Iced Honey, those are some of the they're amazingly hard, fast Metallica songs with Lou Reed, and it's based upon you probably know all this, and I feel like I'm defending it now, but I'm trying not to. I think half this album is brilliant. Kill me, I don't know, but it's based upon I believe plays, a German playwright. And the actual details are kind of cloudy at the moment, but to me, this is a Lou Reed album with really good help from Metallica. So in essence, they should have just taken out the Metallica name and had this be a Lou Reed album and have it stand on those merits. And a lot of people still would have trashed it, but like I said, half this album to me is super good, and I got it for a really cheap price. So that's what I was waiting for, and it took me long enough to get it at that price, but I don't mind waiting. I had it on CD, so. Continuing on. Bruce Springsteen, Wrecking Ball. I'm pitifully low on Springsteen's later stuff. I don't know why. Some of it's hit and miss. Wrecking Ball I thought was really good, and High Hopes, even though it was kind of a cobbled together album of older material, I thought that album was amazing. And this album popped up at a really super cheap price, and I'm a huge Springsteen fan, but more so than that, I'm a cheap bastard. I've said that before. But Wrecking Ball, still sealed. I haven't even opened these up yet. Next one, this might be lost on some people unless you're a huge 80s fan. And that's the thing about me and my videos is that I'm all over the place with music. To me, a good song is a good song. I grew up in the 80s. That's when I kind of discovered music. And I still DJ a really huge 80s night in my city every 3-4 months or so. 4 times a year maybe. So that's always still a part of my life, is that 80s kind of sound. And so yeah, so I mean, I have black metal, I have thrash metal, death metal, and then I have Glenn Campbell albums, and then I have lots of new wave albums. I'm all over the place. And that's been my philosophy, kind of like, even though I didn't realize it, throughout my whole life, is I keep music eclectic because I never get sick of something. Sometimes you need to escape the metal side of things, or you need to escape the new wave 80s side of things. Kind of, it gives you perspective sometimes of what's good and what's crap. So plus it's just, you know, what's the old saying, variety is the spice of life, and I definitely believe that in music. So one day it could be punk, and then one day it could be, you know, like I said, some old country, or it could be some, you know, the only thing I don't really dabble in is classical, to be honest with you, and new country. That's not really a, you know, I'm kind of, my dance card's full with what I listen to already. So that's another long explanation to get to. Frankie Goes to Hollywood. This is a compilation called Frankie Said, and I have the disc on CD, and I was waiting for this to come available. It's clear vinyl. I was waiting for this to come available at a cheap price, and I finally found one. It's a double album, mostly rare tracks. I think the label that has the rights to Frankie Goes to Hollywood material, they're absolute horrors. And for a band that only had 2 albums, they release probably 2 retrospectives a year, and then they keep on re-releasing the 2 albums they did have. This one's a particularly good one. It's got some really rare remixes, some instrumental parts of songs, and it's one of those compilations that I thought was kind of a bit, it was viable. Some of the compilations that this label puts out for them, they're absolute total cash grabs. This is one, like I said, I thought was really good, and I really enjoyed the CD, so I got the vinyl at a super good price. And this is the big one, and I'm going to take a drink, and I'm going to try not to ramble too much about this one. I referenced this one in one of my other videos, the Record Store Day video, that this was my #1 most wanted that day. And then I found out that day from my friends in the record retail end of things, people I'm still friendly with, that it wasn't available. And then I found out from someone who works within the record label that it was canceled in Canada, and apparently the band isn't happy that it was released, and they, I think from what I understand, and this is all third-hand information from a record rep I am friendly with, I think they were told that the band wasn't happy, it was being released. I think they wanted to hold it back for their own reissue campaign, and they fought to get this not released, and the record company said, well, tough. So, long story short, I got a copy of Iron Maiden Brave New World in the mail today. My #1 most wanted for Record Store Day, not available in Canada. What happened was I posted my Record Store Day finds on the YouTube vinyl community I'm on. I kind of relayed that I was really disappointed that I didn't get one, if anyone had one. You kind of put that out there, and 99.999% of the time it goes unanswered. But a guy named J.D. McCombs I don't think he watches these videos, but if you do, he answered right away. And there was a guy from Sweden also looking for one. And his local store had 2 copies left. He went down and got me one, and he got one for this guy in Sweden, who I don't know who it is. He didn't charge me a penny more than he paid, and the shipping was spot on to what he was. So there was no angle being worked. It was one of those awesome gestures that I have to chalk up to good karma. So he sent me a message right away saying, my store has 2, I'm going to grab you one, give me your address, and it seemed too good to be true. I've been kind of ripped off in the past on trades from Facebook groups, so kind of, you know, you kind of feel bad for questioning this guy's intent, obviously, if you've been ripped off a couple of times. But he was straight up, nicest guy, and I got it today. So that was my dreams come true find today via the mail, so it really wasn't a find. But yeah, I'm so excited to get this. I have all the Iron Maidens on vinyl now. And the other reason, if you're an Iron Maiden fan, you'll know those picture discs that were released for Brave New World and Dance of Death and the other ones they released, they're absolutely shit sounding. So black vinyl, I can't wait to play this the minute I stop recording this video. So if you've made it through my rambling today, I think I'm in a good mood. The cold weather has me a little bit amped up a bit. You gotta stay on your toes in the cold. If you made it through this video, thank you. If you're watching my videos at all, thank you. If you were off-put by my whining in the last video, I apologize. It's a very Canadian thing to apologize, although I'm not really sorry for my what I was talking about. So there you go. So shout out to everyone watching my videos. Like I always say, I have lots of great nights falling asleep watching your videos. Not that they're boring, I just kind of make a playlist and I watch them all. So everyone has been super nice and kind with the comments, and thank you again. So this is David Michael from the vinyl community. Stay warm, because I'm not. And I'll see you next time. Thank you.